is exactly 6 minutes gone past the hour of 9 on the AM side. How you feeling this morning? It's time for us to go political and as well as bring about some current affairs conversation this morning. My name is Udwak Daniel, and yes, 145 abducted. Gumi's advice: Tinubu orders rescue of abductees and judiciary. So the recent abduction of 25 schoolgirls in Kebbi State has really raised some concerns about the security situation in Nigeria. Now, if you recall, in January of 2021, Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, a prominent Islamic cleric, facilitated the surrender of over 600 bandits to the Nigerian government, but a peace deal collapsed and bandits have continued to carry out attacks. And Nigeria has indeed been plagued by insecurity. Boko Haram insurgency, banditry affecting several states. I mean, it's spreading already. Kwara State is getting hit already. And some other states, Plateau State, Kebbi State, I mean, you name them. And this is exactly what quite a number of political observers who have been very keen with the insecurity in the country have warned some time ago, saying that, hey, if we don't curtail this, this will indeed spread. And is this what we are seeing? Is the military overburdened, so to speak? Just recently, we saw, as a means of mitigating what is going on in terms of the insecurity that we face as a country, as well as a people, where the National Assembly, if I'm not mistaken, had called on Mr. President, saying that we want you to put an order. We are begging that 100,000 military personnel be recruited. So is this to say that we have a shortage in personnel capacity? Well, it's not even a question to debate. I mean, it just means that we don't have enough personnel to combat the insecurity that we face in the country. And if we don't have it, are we not from slumber to discover that we will need a whopping 100,000 military personnel to be recruited so that we can have at least some strength, some force to fight the insurgency that we face? Well, it is indeed a topic of discourse this morning, and we were looking very closely and keenly to the discourse right now. Let's not take away the fact that there is Nigeria is indeed going through a phase. We've been going through this phase, and it feels like we are in a maze. Are we ever going to come out and find the exit out of this maze? And should we be able to find the exit? Quite a number of persons have said that we must indeed begin to think out of the box. So if we boxed up our thoughts, or we are just being backward, so to speak, or turning a blind eye, acting as if nothing is happening, whilst fellow compatriots are being killed on a daily basis for whatever reason. No tangible reason. Is there even a tangible reason to take life? I mean, that's the question. A surge of mass abductions with at least 145 people kidnapped in Kebbi, Niger, Zamfara states over the past 4 days. This latest incident occurred on November 17 of 2025 when guns attacked government girls' comprehensive senior secondary school in Maga, Kebbi State. And they successfully abducted 25 female students and killing a staff who happens to be the vice principal of that school. My hero, by the way. Now, the federal government has condemned the attacks, directing security agencies to coordinate efforts to locate and secure the release of the abducted student. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reiterated that protecting every Nigerian, especially school children, remains a solemn responsibility of the state. These are very big talk from the high echelon. Now, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the People's Democratic Party have also condemned the attacks, calling for urgent action to address the growing insecurity in the country. Atiku Abubakar stated, and I quote in his words, he says, This is yet another reminder of the worsening insecurity in our nation. Now, what do security experts have to say? Security analyst Emmanuel Ojukwu attributes the rise in kidnappings to politically motivated abductions. And he states in his words, in the build-up to elections in Nigeria, it is not uncommon to record a spike in the incidences of abductions. So is this a build-up to 2027 and is already starting in 2025? What is the hope that you and I have for 2026 that has not even come yet? Oh, it means more people will be abducted, isn't it? So where would we live? For some of us who have gone on a rampage on social media claiming that there is nothing of such, that insecurity is already manageable world, where the reality is indeed something different from that ideal world. Retired Commissioner Peace Ladodo Rabiu is emphasizing that insecurity has become deeply rooted and continuous, saying it's not always during elections. If you are current with what has been happening, insecurity across Nigeria is growing. Well, I tell you, it's grown. Retired Assistant Inspector General of Police Wilson Inalagu, I beg your pardon, is called policing local police. There has been calls for state police. Even the president is throwing his weight behind state police. Remember, there has also been talks about what do they call that again? There was this task force that the president was throwing his weight behind. They have to do with the forest guards. Okay, that's it. Specialized forest guards. Up until now, we don't even know how far. Is this forest guards, are they already in place? Are they being trained? Are they already executing your duties and responsibilities as pronounced? And for some time, he has been an intermediary between the Nigerian government and the armed bandits groups. At least somebody has got to be the bridge, don't you think? He revealed that he facilitated the surrender of over 600 bandits to the Nigerian government in January of 2021. But the government failed to fulfill its commitment. And that is what has led to the collapse of the peace initiative. Well, he has faced criticism, calls for his arrest left, right, and center. And he has described all of those calls and criticisms as spineless, irresponsible, and unpatriotic. I mean, he is urging that he's saying is, dialogue is the only way. Negotiations is the only way for us to get out of the woods. But if you come to think of it, if my daughter, your daughter, was part of the 25, that is reported though, 25 is a number they gave. Could be more, could be less. Could be less? No, could be more. Much more. Wouldn't you want to engage in a negotiation? I think that's where he's come from. Rather than talk about paying ransom and you're not even sure if your daughter's going to come back breeding. So he's saying that, hey, have a conversation with this guys. They're human beings. They're reasonable people. Let's just talk. Don't want to go all kinetic. You go kinetic, it causes more problems, more harms than good. So talk. But haven't we seen quite a number of talks already where these guys come out in with their full regalia in the name of peace talks, and they go back the same way they came? Well, after all, it's a peace agreement, so there should be no manhunts whatsoever, right? But let's go to what the president, has to say about the judiciary, where he, in a conference, a judiciary conference, or judicial conference, or judges conference, I beg pardon. Well, this is one and the same thing, right? Mr. President has said, calling for a corruption-free judiciary. So what that tells me is that the judiciary is so corrupt. For the number one citizen to come out that all that corruption that's going on, that I'm aware of, I'm telling you now, please stop it. Corruption-free judiciary is what I want in my administration of renewed hope. Be affordable even to the poor. So justice has never been affordable to the poor, because the poor gets to pay the ultimate price, whether in kind or in cash. It must be delivered to the poor. It must not be expensive. That's what Mr. President said. These are not my words, so don't quote me. He said, corruption-free, justice must be affordable, and it must not show discrimination in whatsoever way. It said it must be failed. The president said, I didn't say it. Now, he made this call at the open of the 2025 All Nigerian Judges Conference of the Superior Courts in Abuja. He said the corruption in the judiciary has destroyed the nation at its core. So the moral authority of the judiciary depends on public perception of fairness and integrity, and that citizens' faith in the judicial process is central to national stability. And many have said the judiciary is the last hope of the average Nigerian. I wouldn't say ordinary, because you're not ordinary. I wouldn't say common, because you're not common. But we have been commonized, we have been made to think that we are ordinary. You are not ordinary. If you were ordinary, if you were common, they wouldn't be giving you 2,000 naira, 5,000 naira to go and vote them at the polling units. It means that there is a power you carry, you don't even know it. So I want to urge each and every one of us, first of all, if you don't have your PVC, then you don't have a right to talk. If you do have your PVC, then you have a right to join this conversation. Well, we're joined by our guest, who is joining us this morning. And he's going to go all out in the discourse as we engage this morning. 145 abducted. Gumi's advice, Tinubu's orders rescue of abductees, and the judiciary needs to be rescued too as well. And he's in the person of, I like to call him Sir Adekunle Lukman, right? Now, he's a Chief Operating Officer, 21st Century Community Empowerment for Youth and Women Development. Hello and good morning to you, Sir Adekunle.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Right.
Good morning, Nigerians.
It feels good to have you in the discourse. Sir Adekunle, I'd like you to react to what we saw in the headline, a very disturbing headline. 145 people kidnapped in Kebbi, Niger, and Zamfara State over the past 4 days. And with the recent that happened in Kebbi State, where innocent schoolgirls, could be your daughter, could be mine, could be my sister, could be yours, or that of the listener now, 25 in number, were abducted. And in the course of that abduction, the vice principal of that school lost his life, paid the ultimate price. And now, with what is going on, the fresh revelation shows that all and sundry, every Tom, Dick, and Harry now, seem to make themselves very important. Condemning left, right, and center. We condemn. Kebbi State's governor also was seen condemning. The First Lady, President's wife, condemning. Mr. President condemns. Police is condemning. Everybody is condemning. I mean, it's the usual rhetoric. But is there an actionable plan from your point of view in bringing this text to a halt?
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think let me first of all start that our politicians should be ashamed of what is happening in the country. And because we politicize most of the initiative, I remember when the Chibok saga happened, there was an initiative called Save the School Project, whereby one of the components of Save the School Project was that the school, all the public school will have perimeter fencing. And another concept or another pillar of that initiative was that each school should work closely with the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, to improve on their security architecture within the school management of each school, primary, secondary, and what have you. But unfortunately, after that laudable initiative, the governors, the chairmen of local government relaxed, continued busy organizing seminars and conferences around the school Safe Project initiative, leaving the technical component of that initiative that is paramount, because the consultant they engage, either their family, their relatives, their political associates, they continue busy organizing seminars and conferences on, because that is not the major. However, some states are improved on that initiative, work collaboratively with security agencies. The Kebbi State governor supposed to resign immediately after that incident, where we have good system working. Because when the issue of Lakurawa was raised, what has the government of Kebbi State done to secure school against what may likely happen, like experience we had in Chibok and in Yobe State? Because I expect as chief security officer to call the security team and compare and contrast trend of activities of terrorists and bandits. Use the case study of Borno and Yobe State to safeguard our schools in the Northwest. But unfortunately, they were busy talking who is going to be president, governor, senator in 2027. Now it's 25 students now we are talking about now. And it means we are not learning lessons from our past. We didn't expect that terrorists or bandits will still have access to public school of any kind after our experience in Yobe and Borno State. And other schools around, it happens in Kaduna too, and other states. Now, this is what we are seeing. The one you are rolling out now, 145 or 100 something, that is the reported cases. There are incidents of kidnapping around the FCT here that are not reported in the rural communities.
Right.
Very unfortunate, our politicians, they have politicized issue of security, and instead of them to look at it critically and work closely with the security, with passion and dedication, with releases of funds, welfare of these security people, what are we seeing? They have politicized it, and that is the outcome of politicization of governance.
Let me cut in there, right? But just before we go forward, I'd like you to turn on your camera. We are not having visuals from your end, if that's okay. All right, so we can actually have visuals of you from your end. Right now, in view of the discourse, right? I'll open the phone lines now because this is becoming appalling, and I don't know how much more Nigerians can take. I don't know how much more Nigerians can take. Because I remember and I recall, if you also recall, there was a time where the House of Reps members had called on, was it the House of Rep or the National Assembly, calling on Mr. President, telling him that, look, if something is not done about the insecurity, that we will get to a point where Nigerians will turn against the government. Now, not my words. These are not my words. The reps, House of Reps members, House of Assembly members, they called on Mr. President and said, if you don't do something, if we don't do something about this, that it will get to the point where the people will be turned to the wall, and when they get to that wall, they will bounce back. It will become chaos, and we don't want it to get there, right? So some are advising, like Sheikh Ahmed Gumi is advising, saying, look, let's concede. Federal government must concede to negotiations. We must concede to negotiations with terrorists, and that it will ease the insecurity in the country. And it doesn't even stop there, because I want to know what you think about conceding, right, to negotiations with terrorists. And have we even gotten to that point yet? Secondly, the terrorists are even having demands. They have some demands, right? Now, one of such would be, well, according to the Sheikh, he gave their demands: basic amenities such as schools, hospitals, and markets, protection from arbitrary arrests, and assurances of safety, security guarantees, including protection from military attacks and police harassment, a path to peace and reintegration into the society. What are your thoughts on this? Should we go to negotiation? Should we give them this amenities if that's all it will take? Safeguard the life of a Nigerian.
Okay, thank you very much. I think, first of all, I will not advocate or support negotiation with bandits.
Why?
Or with any
Why?
criminals.
Why?
Because I expect and I believe our security agencies have capacity to destroy any form of criminalities in Nigeria. So I will subscribe to negotiation.
You said we have capacity. Wait a minute. You said we have the capacity, and yet the National Assembly have just called on Mr. President to employ 100,000 military personnel. We have capacity.
It's not about employing 100,000. When we say security architecture, we are not talking about police. We are not talking about military alone. There are other paramilitary that can also support the initiative. These bandits, these criminals are coming through our borders. Don't we have customs? Don't we have immigration? So when we are talking about eliminating the criminals, it is not only the role of police or the military. Even the community people have roles to play, because these criminals are residing in the community. So it means both traditional rulers, the religious leaders, youth, women, they have roles to play by way of giving correct and appropriate information to security agencies. So when we are saying security agencies now, we are not referring only to police or to military. We are referring to all, and it is when all work together in a collaborative ways, that is when we get the security right. People have been clamoring for whether we call it state police, whether we call it community policing. Involve people in the community. My dear brother, I stay in the outskirts of Abuja, and I know the role I'm playing within my community in terms of security. There is no DPO in my area that I don't have his or her number, that I don't engage with. We have our community meeting. If we see anybody around our area that we are not sure of, we engage the person, we report to police. So it's when people play their own role, then the military, the police, and other security agencies we support them.
Okay.
So when we are saying it's not about the numbers, their welfare is very important.
Okay.
Very key, because they are human beings like anybody.
So we've not been paying attention. So we have not been paying attention to the welfare of the security.
Yes,
Okay.
they are not paying attention to their welfare.
So if
there is no DPO in Nigeria today
yes,
that can boast of 50,000 naira petty cash in a month. Let anybody challenge that. There is no DPO in Nigeria today that can boast of 50,000 naira petty cash to maintain a divisional police station in Nigeria. How do you want that person to buy fuel to the operational vehicles? So they must go back to bribery. They must go to extortion.
Okay.
Because proper incentives were not given to them.
Okay. Okay.
Giving them vehicles without maintenance will not make the result. So it's not about recruiting 100,000, 200,000. It's about making current people happy. People are leaving the services every year, every month. We should be able to have recruitment plan for senior officers, intermediate officers, and junior officers.
Okay.
At what time do we recruit? How do we recruit? Who do we recruit? Because even the recruitment process is also faulty.
Okay.
So those are the issues. And when we are saying security, it's not only police, it's not only army.
Yeah, you've established that. You've established that. But now these terrorists, through the Sheikh himself, have placed demands. They have demands. Basic amenities, school, hospital, markets.
The demands is what ordinary Nigerians will also demand for. If we have good governance in this country, my dear brother, there will be low quality.
So you're saying there's a breakdown in good governance for Nigeria?
Yes, because look at the rubbish that our political gladiators did yesterday at PDP Secretariat. Do you see those who are serious people that can govern Nigeria? Look at what happened in Ibadan during the weekend. Look at what is happening around. People are dying. Look at do you expect Zamfara State Governor to attend that Ibadan meeting when his people are being killed every day? Can't he give that a priority to stay at home and work closely with people? Look at what they were doing yesterday at the PDP Secretariat. Are those people ready to govern Nigerians? The answer is no. And because they fail in the internal party management, that is why we are having all this we are having. And I think ordinary Nigerians will request for good governance. And what are the good governance?
Yeah. Let me ask you a very quick question just before we get to the phone lines. Yeah. Is this another Chibok resurgence happening again or again? And do you see light at the end of the tunnel that these peoples that have been abducted will indeed come back home safely?
Yes, they should, if the government intensify effort, and because they are in a community. Since 2 days ago, they have been moving. They are moving to communities. So we expect people to say, we notice some movement in our area. This is how they move.
All right.
We expect Nigerian Air Force by now track their movement by now.
Okay.
But what are they doing? Yes, I agree. It is not every information the security agencies divulge to the public. But at least they should be giving us some assurance that they are tracing them, they are seeing where they are trying to see how they are going to shell them without causing damages to other Nigerians. That is what we expect from them.
All right, let me put it.
People came in a coordinated manner.
Yeah. All right.
How people get access to school compound? Those are the things that we should be interrogating.
All right. Let's bring a peg to your thoughts. Takes a couple of calls and messages. Hello and good morning.
Hello.
Yeah.
My name's Kate.
Bibi.
How are you?
Very well, Bibi. Welcome. Where are you calling from?
Yes.
Talk to it. Yes.
Spoke well. But we go just dey talk like this. We know they see the action.
Yeah.
Can you tell me now what is happening? Our president, our senator, I already asked House of Assembly, Labour, wetin be their work? House of Assembly, wetin be their work? They just gather themselves there. Something just happen. They just relax because their children they are not there among. My brother, now if they not say they don't know wetin dey happen for our country, why did they say somebody say may come and help us? So people group will say no, make this Trump no come and help Nigeria. They not say they go kill police. They not say they go kill our army. They not say they go kill our soldier. They say they want to fake this gadget out. but some people say no, but there's some people when they say no, why we cannot arrest them?
Okay,
they
baby.
They can't be there for custody. They don't want to release the man.
Yeah, baby, for want of time, thank you. Well, BB, a blessing right there. A family member is saying, first of all, what is the National Assembly doing? Right? Could this be because their children and their wards are not affected by these killings? Right? And then thirdly, she's alluding to the place where the President of the United States has said, I'm coming to help you. But we are saying, no, we are a sovereign nation, so we don't want your help. Not in the way that you've termed it, because you called it a Christian genocide. So it does seem as though you're coming to topple the government. In one sentence, if you can, please, what would be your reaction to that?
Yeah, I think I'm not supporting the American community to come and help us in that manner. So they should stay where they are. Leave us with our problem.
Okay.
We'll solve our problem.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, she asked, what is the National Assembly doing? Do you think the National Assembly has done enough?
They have not done anything, not to talk of enough.
Okay. Because
they are busy doing jamborees. Jamborees in the sense that National Assembly organizing security summit. Is that what we really need? We have enough recommendations from various summits that they have organized. Let them go and adopt those recommendations and develop action plan to implement those recommendations from past summits that we have organized, wasted resources to do without any action.
Let's take this.
Not solve the problem.
Yeah, let's take this message. Good morning, UD. I'm in Nasara State. This is coming from Turkin B. Hundu. It says, I want to disagree with your guest for calling on the governor in question to resign. This is because in the present security arrangement in Nigeria, the bulk stops at the president Tinubu's table. So if there is any call for anyone to resign, it should be the president. He has failed as commander-in-chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces to protect our people. That's what Ter can be saying. But moving away from that, let's get to what James, all the way from Suleja, is saying. James says, it is ironic the president is talking about an incorruptible judicial system in a gathering that we're busy singing on your mandate we shall stand. That's how satirical that statement is. We are just not intentional about our fight against insecurity. If not, we won't have the likes of Sheikh Gumi speaking and making demands on behalf of terrorists. It was easy for the federal government to designate IPOB as a terrorist organization and treat it as such over their demands and cries over marginalization. But yet the same government, through PR, systematically changed the name of these attackers from killer Fulani headsmen to bandits and terrorists, but yet are yet to designate them the same tag. All right, all we are doing and will continue to do is talk. But UD, do you know the sad reality? These guys have infiltrated everywhere and are all over the place, going about their business as bike riders, local water distributors, iron condemn, and trash collectors, and so on. All these are waiting for us to be activated for whatever purpose they are in the areas for. Okay, now what's your right to respond to this and your final thoughts, to the discourse?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it is not surprising that President, like I said at the beginning of the program, we have politicized a lot of issues in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And I don't know how and where we are going to have corrupt-free judiciary.
Okay.
When we can't digitalize our judiciary. Our court system are still being, majority of them are still using analog method.
Okay.
So now if you want corrupt-free judiciary, I don't think I've seen the political will from Mr. President, and I don't think he has that audacity to call for corrupt-free judiciary.
So you're saying there's no light at the end of the tunnel?
At all.
What should Nigerians expect? What should we expect?
We need to be. If you ask average Nigerians on the road, they will tell you, not under this government we are going, because the reforms will not give us the result that is expected, because there is lack of political will, lack of coordination from up to down, and that is why we are having that disconnect.
So in one sentence, what is the way forward, so that we can close, because time is not on our side? What is the way forward in one sentence?
Way forward is for Mr. President to sit down with his handlers and re-strategize on the approaches we are using to deliver Nigeria. If not, because we need action from him.
Right.
With some ministers need to go, to be fired.
Okay.
Now somebody forged a document and the person tendered resignation and you take it, you approve it. Nobody prosecutes that man, and they have used public resources to pay him salary. So no lessons will be learned.
Okay.
No lessons will be learned.
All right, let's put it back to the thoughts because we have other programs coming up. But we want to say a big thank you to you, Mr. Adekunle Lukman Adefolan. You're Chief Operating Officer, 21st Century Community Empowerment for Youth and Women Development. I tell you, and I kid you not, this conversation is not ending here, as we will indeed connect with you in some other time to have this discourse. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.
Right. And here's where we call it a close at 9:45 exactly. Of course, something great is coming on here. You best want to keep your ears open for that discourse. Good morning.
No offense to the commercials. It's just that we want to see other audio.
Eagles 102.3.